Okay, continuing with our pine series. This is another Niwaki. It looks very healthy. It's very healthy because it had taken off in the ground. And look at the size of the root that I had to cut to get it here. I'm going to be pruning these, and I have to change the pot. As always, we should evaluate the tree. Well, trust me, this is in very good health, because while trying to get it here, it used to poke me so hard that it would hurt. That means that if the needles will hurt you, that means it's in good health. Plus the fact that if you look at these candles, they're all very vigorous. So we know that this tree is in very good health. Too good. And I was wondering why this one looks so much vigorous than the others. Then I found out when I was trying to get it here that because it rooted in the ground. I've been talking about the center candle and the cluster that go around. Well, so what we're going to do is to remove the center and break these so that they're shorter. And that's what we're going to do with all of them. Okay, this is a good example of how the pines grow, right? So this center candle always gets removed. And then if there's too many in the cluster, you remove the big ones and leave maybe 3. And these, you cut them short and then you'll fill in. So that's basically what we're going to do to the rest of the tree. Okay, there's a slight variation. The way I've been doing it is to remove the center candle and then shorten, right? But I think what happened was I missed one cycle. So I'm going to cut it back down to here and then work with these. Same thing with this. Especially in the upper part where they want to grow vigorously, that's a better technique to use. That's what makes this teaching black pine pruning so difficult. So many variations. The problem I have here, it went from here to here, no taper. It has some movement, but I think as much as I shouldn't be doing it, I'm going to cut it off here and use this as your new apex, because yeah, it's just getting out of hand. I think that looks better. Yeah, I try not to do these big cuts during this time of the year, but that was at the top, and that's where all the vigor is, so I figure I can get away with it, hopefully. Okay, I got this far. This fall, if I don't forget, this one needs some major pruning, especially down below, and I'm going to save it just because I wanted to protect from the setting sun burning that trunk. But I'm going to have to take some really big branches off to let this mature. Okay, but for now, what I need to do is to repot this thing. So I'm getting ready to use this hoist to get this out of the can into a new can. Now, you're probably wondering why a bonsai guy has a engine hoist. Well, when I was still landscaping, that was for about 10 years. Anyway, I've never had like a new truck because of limited funds. Well, I met Mike. Well, I call him Mustang Mike because there was too many Mikes that I knew at the time already. There was a Mountain Mike and there was a Cowboy Mike. So anyway, Mustang Mike would fix my vehicles. And one time we Well, actually, he found it. He found me a 3/4 ton truck that was badly, well, it had no parts. Well, the engine was shot and then this and that. So we bought a new engine, and when I went to check on renting, well, after 2 weeks, it was cheaper to buy it. So I bought this thing and left it over there for a month. Well, Mike, you know, he had a regular job and he did this on the side anyway. So anyway, that's why I ended up with this hoist, which worked out really good as I get older, since I'm not picking this thing up. First thing I have to do is go get my power saw and cut those roots so it'll come out of the can. Okay, a little persuasion with a sledgehammer and the can is off. That there's only a very few times that we let this center candle go. Well, this one I'm going to let it grow just so that I could get more girth on that branch and then cut it off to the cluster and then try it again. But I'm just using this as like a sacrifice branch to get me the girth that I want up there. So other than that, there's really no reason to save the center candle. Am I tired? Okay, now this fall, one of those lower branches has to come off. One, maybe even both. But look how thick that trunk got. So it worked great as a sacrifice branch, giving me that girth that I wanted. And as you go up, yes, I'm sticker for the trunk. So this has all the features that I always stress: roof flare, movement, and taper. So anyway, I'm all pooped out, so I'm gonna say goodbye, and I'll see you again in another chapter. Hopefully I don't have to do too many more of these big ones. See you again real soon. Bye.